I'm going to be fishing with suspended baits today while anchored. I've got a skipjack here. I just got this head on there. That'll be one rod, one bait. I'm going to get it down there. Like I said, I'll have it suspended just a couple feet off the bottom. Went out yesterday and got some fresh bait. I got one little old skipjack, so we're going to make the most of it. I'm going to have a head on that back rod back there, and this rod up here on my front right, I'm going to put a skipjack body section. And again, this skipjack, it was pretty small, so you can see right there, that's not a very big chunk, but you know, skipjack is my absolute favorite bait out here where I fish. People ask me all the time about what's the best bait, and you know, best bait's kind of relative to where you're fishing at. Everywhere you go, depending on the different water you're at, it could be a different bait. And finally, up here on this other front rod, I'm going to have a white bass head to start. I went out and got some white bass yesterday too. The white bass I got was kind of small, so again, that's kind of a small bait. But it'll catch a fish if they're here. Like I said, I'm just anchored down out here in the main channel. There's a big flat over here beside me. It drops off, and I'm on that deepest break line, which for this area I'm at here is 32 feet deep. So, look at that rod right there just got hit. Look at it. That's that head. Before I could even get my lines baited, we're already getting hit. So, that's a good sign. I'm getting out here, right here at kind of that twilight period, right before the sun comes up. There. Go. Show. That's on the skipjack head. My favorite bait. And of the 3 baits I got out, that's the one that's gotten hit. Got a little bit of current out here this morning. Not much. Probably moving, I don't know, I'd guesstimate 0.3, 0.4 miles an hour out here this morning. It's enough to get my scent going downstream, which is what I want. Good news, we got my head back. Now get on up in here. Show yourself off to the world. There he is, Skunk Buster. Get on out of here. Well, that's good news. We got my head back. So like I said, that's my only skipjack head. So I'm going to try to make the most of that and get as many fish as I can on it. Hopefully them dinks will leave it alone. Let us keep it down there long enough for us to get a big one on it. That right there, y'all. Them dinks are down there having a good time. What can you do? Just sit down there and destroy your baits. Got another piece on there. That's my last piece of skipjack. Hopefully we can make this one count. I do still have that head on there though. It's been dink tapped to death too, so it's probably about chewed up also. These dinks have just been on it today. Just small fish that are big enough to gnaw at your bait, but not big enough to get hooked. Goodness, got one on here, sitting there peddling because it's been so slow. I finally hooked up with what I presume was probably another small fish, just the way he was acting. As soon as he hit it, it was immediately rolling down there. That's how them little ones do. Sometimes you get a big one like that, but mostly it's the small ones that hit and just start rolling. Well, it's getting later in the morning. It's 8:25 now. And other than some dink taps, that one fish is all I've gotten. For this one anyway. Oh goodness, oh! Daggone it. Like I said earlier, it's the smallest fish that gets you the wettest out here, and that fish just got me sopping wet. And he got my last piece of skipjack too. Daggone it, other than that headpiece back there. I'm glad it's a warm day and not frigid cold. Alright guys, there's that piece there. That's just a body section of white bass. So that last fish there ate the last of the skipjack I had, other than that headpiece that's on that back rod, which has been dink tapped so much it's probably just shredded. But in fact, I'm actually going to reel it in, take a look at it. There may not be nothing left of it. Them small fish can just shred your baits like nothing. It's chewed up, but it's still got some meat on it, so we'll drop it down. That other white bass head I got on that rod ain't been touched. There it goes. Fish on. That one ate that skipjack head also. Daggone white bass ain't been touched. They all on that skipjack. This is probably going to do it for the skipjack though, unfortunately. I don't imagine we'll get the head back from this, because it was pretty tore up. Alright guys, there's another one, just a little blue cat, little dink. Just let it go. I'm going to put a, I still got the white bass head on that rod. I got a body section on that one. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these smaller white bass and put a whole white bass, just cut some slits in it, and drop it down on that back rod there. You know, these fish now that are moving through, now that my skipjack's gone, they're not going to have any options. It's either going to be white bass or keep moving. So we'll see if we can get one on the white bass now. All right, y'all, there's that, just a whole white bass, one of the smaller ones I got, and I'm going to drop it straight down. Now I've hooked it up under the gill plate like I would a head, and the reason for that is because I do have a little bit of current today. My sinker is going to be straight down under the kayak, but the current is going to push the bait up and push it out. So the bait's actually going to be sitting in the water like that down there when it's suspended off the bottom. So it's going to be like a more natural presentation for it. I'm going to drop it down and see what we can do. I want you to look at that rod tip right there. I'm kind of bouncing around because the wind's blowing upstream. That rod got thumped a minute ago. Look at that. There is a fish on there. I guarantee you, that's another flathead. I guarantee you, because I got thumped a minute ago, and that rod tip's just, I'm going to take him. That rod tip's just kind of danced around since then. I'm going to pick up on him and take him. That's a good fish. Let it go. Let it go. Let me drop it right back down. Oh. But he picked up on it right when I dropped it back down. Did you see me set that hook? I shouldn't have done that. Using daggone circle hooks, but I did, just a reflex. I felt him bump. That's a good fish right there. That's probably the same one that just dropped it. If I get him this time, just to get him up here, I just want to get a look at him. See what the heck he is. Man, I was frustrated there just long enough to drop that bait back down, and then boom, he was waiting on it when it come back. Yep, that's a flathead. I thought it was the way he was acting. Look at that fin right there, buddy. That's a good sign. That's what you want to see right now. That's what I'm hoping to see. Let me get this fish in here and show you. So what do you eat? White bass head. Let's get him up here and take a look at this old ugly thing. You can see right here, y'all, look at that fish's fin. It's all tore up. He's got marks on his head up here. This fish has been on the nest, and obviously it's come off now, so that's a good sign. We've been waiting on it. I figured any time now these fish are going to start coming off the beds, and this is the first. That's the first fish I've caught, first catfish I've caught that's been marked up like this, where you can tell they've been on the beds, and it's a good sign too that it's a flathead. So get him. He's still pretty even if he's ugly. This fin over here on this side, I don't know if you can see, it's actually broke. These fish, they go through a lot of trouble to mate, don't they? Alright, let's send him home. Let's get a release shot while we're at it. Go get big and strong for me. There you go. Again, that head right there, it's, you know, tore up. You can see there ain't no red in there. There ain't no pink or nothing. It's just white. It's all bled out. So we'll throw that one away and put a fresh one on. Fish right there now. Oh, he slammed it. That's that head piece again. The blue cat right there. Every one of these fish, they get right up the surface before they go crazy. All right, there's that one. You can see that top fin there's got marks on it. He's got some scars on his head. That's another one that's probably just come off the beds here recently. So that's a good sign. That's a flathead and a blue now that we've got some marks on them. So I'm very encouraged. They, like I said, the bites will be picking up any time now. Just a matter of time. I get more and more optimistic each day that goes by. I'll drop that one back down. That one hadn't been soaking very long. We'll send it back down and see what it does. These fish are on that head, so I'm on. I got that whole white bass on that one and a body section on that one. I'm gonna switch one of them two out for another head piece. Probably switch this body section out. Oh, there goes that rod up there. I'm rebaiting this one and that one's going down. It's acting like probably a small fish, so I'm gonna drop this down right quick before I deal with him. I switched this body section that I had on this front rod out here with another head, since that seems to be what they want right now. We got that flat head, that blue, and then this one all on the head piece. So I want to get another head back down there, and of course I still got this whole white bass on this back rod with just some slits cut in it. Another dink right there. But that's a few fish all within the last few minutes here, so that's encouraging. You know, this morning was a dud, you know, first light here. I really wasn't getting no action at all other than just dink taps here and there, but the last few minutes it's kind of picked up. So all right, a little eater size there.